one time I was counting them, and this is like one of my first times counting them. And the guy was like, "Oh, I help you. Don't worry, mate. Been doing this for 25 years." And I was like, 25 years?
Oh, wow.
No, I can't do that. I can't.
Yeah.
If I'm still here 25 years later, man, oh, I don't know, man. And it just scared me, like, fuck. I haven't been even alive for 25 years. And it's because I've been working at this place for 25 years. And I was like, I can't do this forever. The main thing is, like, I don't want to get too comfortable. Because, like, if I get too comfortable, I'm gonna get a nice girlfriend. Not the best girlfriend, but she's okay for now. And I got not the best job, but like, it's a right job. And then this is my house. It's not my ideal house, but it's alright. And then you settle. You just settle at that one spot, and then eventually you've realised that you just looked and your whole life gone past. You have the same house, same wife, and everything's kind of boring and stale. I'm not saying I'm going to cheat on my wife, or I'm not like. Obviously, I'm very blessed and lucky to be born in Sydney. And say some people would kill their own children just to have like a nice house, like a middle-sized house with a regular paying Australian job. But honestly, like I want more than that. Like out of life, I just not necessarily money, but also just like I don't want the same thing. Like I want to go live in different countries and do all that type of stuff. I don't want the normal just buy a suburban house and then live in the suburban house, work until you're 65, putting a little bit of money into a superannuation and then retire at 65 and then you travel the world, but you're now too old to do all the fun things. And then,
That's optimistic about the future.
I think when you're young, you idealize like being rich, having money, right? Like, so on one end you think it will be really easy, and then you kind of think, you know, well, like if my parents could do it, I can do it too. And really, I think that comes from a level of privilege. Like we live well, at least I live around privilege. I am privileged, and I can say that openly that I am. But I think my experience as a person who's grown up in this area and seeing my family and my sister, who's 7 years older than me, be able to be a homeowner, a landowner at the age of 22, 23.
She?
Yeah.
How come?
I think that's because she stayed home and she didn't have to pay rent. She went to uni. My parents paid for everything, and she could just save her salary, and as a result, she had enough money to pay a deposit. I think when you come from a level of privilege, you see that you don't have to follow the kind of rules and regulations that are set on you by the financial kind of like you don't have to go through I have to have X amount of money to then invest in a house. You have the kind of like you're taught this mindset that you make loopholes, and if you have the X amount of money for a deposit, then you can, you know, get this amount of money as a loan from the bank and this amount of money as a loan from your parents, and then pay it all off, and that's how you do it, right? And so I think a lot of people around me have the same kind of upbringing, that it's like you have your parents' backing, you have, you know, you've been brought up in a privileged environment where almost everyone is a homeowner. And so you're not really out of the bubble, you're not outside of the bubble, so you kind of deal with the optimism.
So what's your feeling towards people then?
My feeling towards people
Overall?
pretty optimistically, you know. It's like eventually, you know, you start to see the pattern in yourself. It's like, oh, maybe you're just not good at you know, being friends with people. I think if humanity was like a whole person, I've only ever lived in Australia, so don't take this with a grain of salt. I don't know every human.
Yeah.
But I feel like it would be a very depressed person that hates itself. So just, you know, but it's, you know, kind of like me, it hates itself in the way where it's like, it's not gonna, you know, look, there's no point in dying, there's no point in living, so you might as well just keep going until things get better.
Like every time I do something selfless, I've got to be like, okay, I should do this. And I don't really want to do it, but I know I should do it, you know?
Okay,
Like it's kind of like,
Oh.
I got to force myself to do it.
Can you give us anything that examples?
Like, I don't know, like buying my friend a drink at a bar, like little things, like things you just do. I'm like, do I really want to do this? Like, I'm just cold. But then there's a part of me that, I don't know, like, I think for my entire life I was like that. And then in year 10, actually no, when I left school, I realized I don't want to have this like life anymore.
What?
Like what I'm doing to other people.
Okay.
But that realize wasn't strong enough to change who I actually am. It's just something I can. But I think the one that doesn't want to do it has the hand on the wheel.
Okay. Okay. In your generation?
I think social mobility is still achievable because we're not at that point we're not a society that's so unequal that social mobility can't occur. It's harder. It's much harder now than it would be.
But it still exists.
But it's still achievable, yeah. And that might be me being naive. But I believe that social mobility is still achievable. It's harder for people who are lowest class to come into the middle class and higher class than for middle class people to go into the upper class.
So you think that from middle class status to jumping into the upper middle class is easier?
Yes.
It is possible?
Yes.
Okay. So what was it?
Oh, okay. So I met. Okay, it was. Like, I'm just gonna say 2 weeks ago. Maybe last week. 2 weeks ago.
Who?
I met Elliot.
Okay.
Elliot Gaskell. He works at IGA in Penno UP, and we were having just like a small conversation with him. I was talking to him for like a little bit, and just about like how his life is doing and stuff, and just the way that he was talking to me and the things he was saying, I was just like, wow, this guy all of a sudden seems so much more like motivated and in control of his life. He was saying that like he wants to do he wants to work in like cyber security or something like that when he gets older. And I was just thinking, like, it made me think that a lot of kids, when they leave high school, I think they start to realize, like, they're screwed if they don't, really go for it. Which is, why I think you're seeing a lot of people now, when you talk to them, that they're so different compared to when you saw them in high school. Like, some of the, like, academic people are, like, really pushing to set up their lives, stuff like that.
Why do you think that's the case?
Because they're getting older and they're getting scared that if they don't start now, they're going to get screwed over when they're older, I think.
Do you think they're mature?
I do. I think they got much more mature. Like, even I haven't got that much. I'm basically the same person, but a lot of people are much more mature and much more in control of their lives.
I guess that's because the environment also changes as well. You're
True.
not in an environment where you're very much different from high school. You gotta work 7 days a week.
High school, you just kind of screw around.
And then you're still starting from the transition from there. That's okay. We got a mic. Hopefully, hopefully work.
We can try it.
Yeah, we can try it. What are the obstacles that you have
Right now?
Yeah, in your life.
What are the obstacles I have right now in my life? A lack of passion. That is the one obstacle that is plaguing my life right now.
Okay.
It's one of the worst ones to have.
This stop is Surrey Hills.
A lack of passion. I feel like if you're passionate about something, it's so much easier to do it. To be motivated, to want to do something. I just haven't found that thing yet. I think it's out there. One day I'll find it.
This stop is
For
Surrey
now,
Hills.
it's like a passion.
Okay. Then what's the most enjoyable thing that you like to do?
Right now?
Something brings you joy.
Socializing with people that I like to socialize with. So, I mean, I'm basically saying, like, you know, hang out with my friends.
Okay.
But that's a very normal answer, right?
No, that's not normal.
I get, yeah, actually,
The
maybe.
next
What do you
stop
do
is
when you hang out with
Moorhouse,
your friends?
followed by Royal
If we're going out,
Ramsay,
we
Wandsworth Road,
have food,
then
watch a
4
movie,
stops to Redfern.
do some activity. If it's at home, it's usually playing games. But it's when I say like to my parents and stuff, like, you know, I don't say this, but if someone asks me, what do you do at home with your friends? It's like play games. It's true that we're playing games, but like it's more that we're just like having fun together, you know, like talking to each other. It's not so much about the, you know, the actually playing games. It's more interacting with my friends and talking to them, stuff like that.
We are social beings after all.
We are social beings.
Yeah. Then I forgot it. I should have said this. What was my question? Do you ever have some kind of relatively serious conversation when you're friends?
It's hard. It's definitely hard to have a serious conversation with them. But there have been times, yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, if they ever have a problem, or even if I have a problem, I think that all of us have built a comfortable, safe relationship
Oh, that's great.
where, you know, if there's any problems, we talk about it. So it's mainly, we don't like to get into like personal, because, you know, personal is personal.
Okay.
But a lot of the time, you know, school stuff, need help with this or that, or I'm having trouble doing this one thing, could you help me do that? And it's, you know, I'm happy that they're comfortable asking me,
Okay.
and I'm happy that I'm comfortable asking them.
That's good.
Because I know there's a lot of people, right, who
Yeah.
they don't have that kind of support.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm happy that I was able to do
Do you miss high school?
that. When I started uni, oh yeah, I really miss high school. Because it's like a big family, right? Same 30 kids in your class every single day, you know what's going to happen. And then you go to uni, it's like, I don't know anyone. Well, because no one from Penno Hills went to you. Oh, it's with me, Ellen, Richard, Taylor, Riley, Ebony, and Color. I think there's like one other person. So I don't really know anyone from here. But even to the people who went to like Macquarie and stuff, they don't really see each other around that much. So I don't like change. Lots of people don't like change. So at the start I didn't like it. Now you get more used to it. You go through the motions. It's refreshing to be more independent. To be more independent. To just try new things. But it was hard at the start.
Have you made any friends in uni so far? Good?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What are they like?
So I'm lucky because my brother went to uni.
Okay.
My cousin who lives in Australia, he just finished uni as well. He's doing actuary as well. Or he
This
just
stop
did
is
actuary as well. Same
A
degree.
line for Sydney
My
Cricket
other cousin
Ground
is doing
and
uni
Centennial
right now
Park,
at UTS.
Robertson Road gates.
So I have a lot of wisdom from them. So they said, first year, as soon as you get into uni, just go to every social event, try to meet as many people as you can, and then you don't have to worry about it.
This stop
You know, you have your
is
group,
Moorhouse.
you have your people you know, and then you can just sit back and you don't have to go out making friends, you know, in year 3, year 4. Because a lot of people struggle because they don't go to social events, so they're not very social, and it haunts them later on. So I was lucky because I met a lot of people.
Actually, speaking of this wisdom, let's pass it to the give some tips to the people to go to uni, because I'm hoping that some of the people who's about to go to uni and they want to watch this documentary and they can maybe probably learn some from you. Yeah. So what's the tip to going to university 101 with Ryan De Silva?
101?
101, yeah.
Before you get into university, make sure that you want to do what you're doing.
Okay.
But most important thing, it'll make life so much easier. It's all about that passion. I mean, I say just find your passion. It's not that easy. You can't just find it, but you know, make sure you want to do what you're doing. When you actually decide to go to uni, take into account everything and no bias. You gotta have no bias. Lots of people will pick, UCID because it's this high prestigious university, but it's not the best uni for that, what they're studying. Some people will pick UNSW because it does 3 terms instead of 2 terms, stuff like that. It's like, you really shouldn't think of those factors the most. You should really just think about the quality of study, how long it's going to take you to finish that degree. If you want the kinds of people you're going to meet, because you were telling me before that, the kinds of people you met at UNSW were better than you said in your experience. So if you want to factor in that, you can. Just make a rational judgment of what uni you want to go to, what you want to do at that uni, and after you've put all your cards on the table, go with whatever decision you think is the right one.
And I'd like you to also mention about how to make a friends, or how to meeting people at uni that your cousin told you.
He didn't tell me how to make friends. He just told me to do it.
Yeah.
Making friends is scary. It's hard. It's
no, like just we're gonna make a summarized version of go to every event, meet the people.
Oh, how to make friends? Okay. Go to every event. In the first term, first, second, third term, do all of your stuff in person. Don't do it online because you won't talk to people. Try to be as active as possible. Join clubs and societies. Get really intertwined with the community. But don't just do things for the sake of doing them. Do them because you like them. So don't just join some random club, like swimming team or something if you don't want to swim. Join a community that you want to be a part of.
What team are you in? What club?
So I'm in because I do the actuary. I do the actuarial society, and because I'm in computer science, I'm in the computer science engineering society, whatever it's called. So I'm not in many, but the actuarial one has been really good because that's where I've met most of the people I know.
Are they all super smart?
They're very academically smart.
Okay.
They're very academic. Kids from James Roos and
James
Kings, North Sydney boys.
Are there many private school kids?
Private?
Is Royal
I don't know. A couple. I haven't talked to them. But they're not like you were telling me before that private school, like you said, had a lot of private school kids when you went, and it's almost like they treated you differently. Like
I felt different.
Right.
I felt the sense of war between me and them.
They owned you.
No, like I just wasn't feeling comfortable around because they're just like complete different human breed. Like we're not the same.
But you also said you're an international student.
Yeah.
So do you think it's because they were private school or because you're international or a mix of both?
Both.
Okay.
All of them, yeah. Because they're also just divided by like public school kid at the Australian public school, white Australian public school kid, and then there will be private school white kids hanging on together, and then there will be Australian born Asian group there, like ABC, and then there will be international students, and they don't really mix too well, like they just have their own group. Yeah. And
well, in my experience, all the private school kids, like school kids I've met, they've all been very nice, very accommodating. Sometimes it's a little hard because they have their own groups, like from high school, and they're all coming together to UNSW, and it's kind of hard to like enter that group and talk to them. But that's not a big problem. They're all super nice. They're all friendly. Just normal kids. In my opinion.
Male-dominated major though.
In my degree, oh yeah.
How many girls are there?
I don't know, 4. Like I'd say maybe 30% women, 70% men.
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
But it's not great either.
Probably better than engineering.
Like arts. I mean, arts would have been pretty
Mostly
good,
girls.
right?
Mostly girls.
Yeah, better than engineering. Yeah.
Oh, better engineering.
Engineering's not great.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he also doing engineering?
Yes.
We're gonna figure that out then.
He does mechatronics.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
This stop
I think it's
is
getting too noisy. I'm not
10.
sure how well I captured the voice, but
I think if humanity was was like a whole person. I've only ever lived in Australia, so don't take this with a grain of salt. I don't know every human.
Yeah.
But I feel like it would be a very depressed person that hates itself. So just, you know, but it's, you know, kind of like me, it hates itself in the way where it's like, it's not gonna, you know, look, there's no point in dying, there's no point in living, so you might as well just keep going until things get better.
What does success mean to you?
Success. Again, being happy, man. Like, if you're genuinely, if I see someone after like 10 years from my high school, right? And I ask them, I'm like, oh, sorry.
No.
Oh.
We're gonna see this in 7 years. We're gonna see them.
Oh yeah,
basically,
100%. Yeah. If I see someone from high school and they don't have a single degree, they work full time at like some store, you know, they haven't achieved anything. If I ask them like, how you going? They're like, yeah, I'm great, man. Doing well. You know, I've bought a car. You know, my wife's having a kid soon. You know, life is great.
Okay.
And I look at myself. Let's say, hopefully, let's say I'm rich but not happy. I'm like, well, who's the dickhead here? Me, because I'm not happy. I might have all this money and they're happy. They're living a good life. They're happy. They've got a wife. They've got a kid coming along, and I'm the one who's not happy. You know, it's crazy. You can have all the power and money in the world, but if you can't give it to someone else, it's very, very lonely. A lot of people, I don't know if you're like this, but for me, when I have money and I spend it on someone else, that gives me satisfaction. When I spend money on myself, it doesn't give me satisfaction. But when I buy my girlfriend like a bag or when I give my boyfriend,
Yeah.
when I give my girlfriend a bag or like shoes, that's the satisfaction for me. I'm like, I worked hard, and then now I have the money to make this person happy out of nowhere. You know?
Yeah. What do you think will happen to you after death?
If everything goes well, I think that after death I will have some sort of way to live on, as I would have created some sort of legacy and or empire. My envisionment is that it's an automotive empire. I may have a collection of cars that I have a museum, a non-for-profit museum of automotive history. You know, ideally when I die, I would actually like to be cremated and have my ashes put into a piece of carbon fiber and then build a race car out of that carbon fiber, just so that my body is around and present in an object, as like my soul is infused with it. That's how I'd like my legacy to be left on this planet, just a mark that I pursued my goal and I was successful, and that anyone else who really sets their mind to what they want can do the same thing.
And she like Emma's doing so well, like she's like doing a sports, doing an art, doing a studying, and like she got everything, and you know, and that's unfair. Like she's like excelling in every single area in the world, and you're still worried.
I get a lot of people saying that. That's what I hated.
Oh, okay.
I hate when people say that.
Okay, why?
Because
That's
I don't.
Oh.
I don't have everything. And I think a lot of people say it like I was just, like it just happened to me, like I just have it. Not like I don't work for things. If it was like, you know, people are like, oh, why are you so smart? And I'm like, well, maybe because, I don't know, I put in a lot of work to get the good marks. And people just saying like, oh, it's not fair that you're so smart. And I'm like, well, okay, sure. It doesn't feel good when I put like work into it for them to just be like, why are you so good at everything? But yeah, and it just felt like they were just jealous. And like, that sounds like I'm being all like big-headed, like, oh, they're just so jealous of me because I'm amazing, blah, blah. I don't mean that. I mean like, but that's just always how it felt whenever anyone was like, why are you so good at everything? I'm like, I don't know, like I just tried to work harder at things that I like. Like I worked hard at basketball for a long time, even though I don't anymore, to try and be good at it. I think, I don't know, everything that I do, I always just want to do it the best.
Oh.
Like I don't want to just like give it a half go.
Oh, that's
You know what I
awesome.
mean?
Yeah, that's amazing.
And I try to work hard. My voice just that. I don't know, I try to work hard at everything. I mean, also, I feel like I don't have everything. I feel like, especially like you said, social aspect in year 12, like I was very different to now. I felt like that part of my life just was not happening, and that I would have given up all the other things for that.
Wow, that's interesting, right? But you had like Ellens and Yuna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I felt like I was pushing them away.
No, that probably is another thinking, that negative thinking that you do.
But it's much better now, I hope. And yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Nowadays, most people don't really care about race.
How
Especially in Australia.
how about do you have any particular negative experience in terms of being Asian or something?
In high school, like obviously just high school bullying and that.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. You're like, oh, you eat dogs. Oh, the only reason you got good math tests because you're Asian. Asian. Oh.
Were you good at math?
Huh?
Are you good at math?
A little bit.
Oh, I had
I was
no
the
idea.
best.
Really?
I did advanced maths.
Okay. Oh.
But the worst one was dog eater. That was the worst one. And then I just beat the fuck out of someone. Got suspended for 2. No. I think it was outside of school.
Okay.
And then no one ever said it ever again. Finished.
Really?
End of conversation. No one ever mentioned it ever again. After I just fucking beat the fuck out of someone.
Like out of school, not from Penno, not from.
No, he was from Penn Hills.
Okay.
But it was out of school when it happened.
Oh, wow, that was intense.
Yeah. But yeah, it was good. It was a good moment. Good standing up for myself.
Okay. But how come you apparently very fit and you're doing wrestling? How come they can mess up with you?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
At that time, many people didn't really know I was a wrestler. But afterwards, people understood. Like, okay. Because they all picked him up, suplex.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if it was on concrete, it could have been bad. But it was on the grass, so it was alright.
Yeah.
They held him down, kicked dirt in his face.
Oh, wow.
Everything was pretty good. Pretty funny.
Wow.
What was your childhood like?
That's a broad question.
Did you have a good childhood?
I had a great childhood.
Tell me about the activities you did and people you met, and did you like the music, art?
Yeah.
What sort of activities were you involved?
Well, my mum and I used to do a lot of fun activities. We used to go to the library. She used to take me to the library, and my aunt used to take me to the library. And I know it sounds like the nerdiest thing ever, but I didn't even read the books back then. I just loved the atmosphere of the library. So we would go and we would sit there and we would sit in the children's corner and sit with our books. And my mum would let me and my cousins borrow three books each, and then we would all sleep over and read these books. And then go to the library the next day and give them back to Pennant Hills Library, and then go to the park there. And that was a really good time. That was one of my favorite memories. And then I was just another little kid. I was very loud and outgoing and confident. I loved sports, and
What did you do?
I swam. I swam a lot, and I danced. I did lots of dancing, lots of swimming, lots of rugby and Oztag and touch. My sister wasn't sporty, but I was very sporty. I was always outside. I was always outside in the backyard, doing random stuff on the trampoline. My mind was very curious all the time. It didn't matter what it was doing, and I kind of forget sometimes that that childhood wonder. It's one of the best feelings when you think about it nostalgically, because it wasn't pressure of the world, but you just could enjoy those singular moments. And maybe that's something I need to bring back into my life, enjoying the singular moments. But yeah.
Read Proust.
Yes. We read about him in Extension.
Oh,
Yeah.
no fucking way.
Yeah, we did.
Who was the teacher?
Mr. Lee's.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. I love that man.
He's really
great.
cool.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you did it first. Fantastic.
What are the obstacles you have?
I'm lazy. Like, I mean, I not as much anymore. I used to be hella lazy, and then I never had a goal, so I was just like not even putting work towards anything because I didn't have something I needed to put work towards. But now that I've got a goal and I want to travel, get hella money, I'm like putting in more work to get there.
Are you good with saving?
I'm better than I was. Yeah.
How are you gonna get rich?
It's gonna be a long process. I don't know how yet, but it's gonna happen one day, hopefully.
Okay.
Just work hard. That's all you gotta do. Work hard, but you just gotta do something that makes you happy, that also makes you money.
Do this before I die. See, now that I wanna
Keep walking, it's okay.
so I want to get married. I want to have a stable career. I want to this is a bit like an odd one, but I want to buy my mom a house.
Okay.
So yeah, I want to buy her house. It'll be really cool. It's only because like I think my mom deserves one. Like to be able to now, since like I'm already starting to earn some money and I can like give her like gifts and stuff, and then the joy on her face is just like this is what I'm here for, you know, like.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I hope my career potentially like allows for that, and also since like if I do get married, which I'm pretty sure I will, my husband then will most likely be also like quite a workaholic. Like he will be interested in like his job and working hard as well, so he'll also most likely be financially independent too, so we can like double fuel, and then I can save some money to buy her house. It'll be cool. It'll be awesome, I think.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Absolutely.
Especially when it comes to like happiness and success. Just being able to take that first step forward is so important. So would you say you're happy now in your job?
No, not really.
Okay, that's my point. Do you not want to find happiness? Isn't that the reason that you're going to France? You want to be able to experience these things?
Next stop.
Define happiness then.
Happiness. I mean, enjoyment, satisfaction. It's hard to define happiness. I can give you a lot of synonyms and words, but it really just depends on the person. It's different from person to person. It's just maybe it's doing things that give you happiness.
I think a lot of people in general aren't curious about the world in Australia, and I think that's because we are sheltered. We are sheltered from a lot of things. We have so much privilege, and we have the privilege to not think about it, push it out of our brains. We have healthcare that makes us prolong our lives so much greater than other life expectancies in the world, that we don't have to think about death until we're 60, and then I still have 20 years until I die. Let me start thinking about death now and what the world means. We have education, which means that we can get good jobs, and we don't have to think about what's going on. We have women's rights, which means that we don't have to go and protest anymore. And yes, I'm not saying that we're perfect. I'm just saying that compared to women in Afghanistan, we have lots of privileges. Just recently their education got taken away. They're not allowed to go to uni anymore, women in Afghanistan, and we don't have to think about those things. We don't have to deliberate on whether that's ethical or unethical, because we don't have that. We're sheltered. We're very lucky. Yeah.
It's like everyone's there to watch you win, but no one's there to watch you train. Like everyone sees the end result, and they say, "Yeah, I want that." But people don't realize. People let's say, boxing, for example. People see, Mike Tyson knockout, win. I want to be that. See him in front of thousands people. But then when you see someone in the gym by themselves, just their coach, one training partner, every day, the blood everywhere, getting knocked in the face. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. You can't look at the things you want as the end result. You can't think what I want, the pleasure, what I want. Think, what am I willing to suffer for? What things am I willing to bleed and be sad and put in the bad time for? Because at the end of the day, that's going to be the majority of it. And if you're willing to suffer for it, then by all means go. But if you're not willing to suffer for it, then it's not worth what you need.
Let's go. Actually,
So I'm kind of scared of dying.
oh, okay. Let's talk about that then.
Scared of something.
Okay. So death.
Death. I remember when I was roughly very, very young, maybe 10, 11 years old.
Yeah.
I was in Taiwan.
Okay.
And I remember that I had grasped the concept of time and death. And I thought to myself,
How old are you?
10 years old.
Okay.
And I thought I remember thinking to myself, there is gonna be a point in my life where I am 30 seconds away from dying, and there is nothing I can do to change the fact that I'm dying. And when I was 10 years old, I imagined myself in a hospital bed, of cancer or something, slowly closing, everything's getting darker, and in my head I know I'm dying. And then I was 30 seconds away from death, but I couldn't change it. I just knew I was dying, and I couldn't do anything about it. And that scared the living shit out of me. I was like, holy shit, I'm gonna die. And I got so scared. Oh my God, I'm going to die. And then I was just because I'd been brought up Protestant because my father was Protestant, and I got just put in scripture class. So I believed in Christianity at that time. And then in my head I remember no, God's real, heaven's definitely real, it's definitely real, and I'm definitely going to heaven. Because I was just so scared of there being nothing, of just dying. And then I finally realized I believe personally, I don't think there's a heaven. Or at least Christianity is not real. The Protestant religion that I believe in, I don't think it's real. And then so then when I got home from that holiday in Taiwan, I remember just playing video games hours and hours and hours and hours, because I was so I didn't want to. I wanted to concentrate on the video games. I was just so scared of dying. I was 10, 11 years old. I was just fucking terrified. And then forgot about that after a while. And then I had a lot of coaching. My wrestling coach got me to meditate a lot.
Okay.
Started meditating. I got very heavy into spirituality, Taoism, Confucianism, Buddhism, and Hinduism.
Yeah.
Because I thought maybe there's something else to it. And then I tried LSD and magic mushrooms, and that gave me an experience where it was there has to be something more to this life than just what it is now. And I know people think you got that out of a drug experience. I don't need drugs to figure that out, but when it comes to those mind-altering drugs, I think it gives you a perception of life that is different from a perception that is hard, that you can attain naturally, or at least hard to attain naturally, and that sometimes you learn to appreciate the life and question the life that you do have. And I feel after those experiences, not just those psychedelic drugs, but also meditation and learning a lot about those religions, I believe there's more than something after death. There can't be nothing. There's no way there's nothing. Even in physics, in quantum physics, we learned that there is millions and millions of colors, and that we can only see 0.03% of all colors on the light spectrum. And there's 11 known dimensions that we only know of. We experience 4 of them, and we only can interact with 3 of them, and our eyes only perceive 2 of them. Because we only see things in 2D. We can only move things in 3D, but we experience time in the 4D, in 4 dimensions. And there's at least 11 known ones that we kind of know of. Only see 0.0% of the light spectrum. There could be a totally another organ that we don't even know of that picks up a totally different sense that we don't even know of. And you're telling me there's nothing after death? Absolutely nothing?
Yeah.
That has to be bullshit. Turn left?
Yes. So what's this something?
I don't know. Personally, I believe like this. Enlightenment is when a wave realizes that it's the ocean. And as a human being, we're just part of the universe as a total. And if I was a god, and I was a god just by myself, and I was lonely, I would create friends for myself, wouldn't I? Like, I would create friends. If I could do anything I wanted, if I was the universe and I wanted to learn more, I would create friends. And I kind of believe that, like, all energy in the universe is, all matter in the universe, left or right?
Right, sorry.
All matter in the universe is kind of just energy condensed down to a slow vibration. And that everyone here, all humans, are just one conscious universe experiencing itself subjectively. So we're all part of the same thing, all part of one conscious, just experiencing what it's like to live a human life subjectively.
So stay.
And that
park it,
death is not real, because life in itself is a dream, and we're just the imaginations of ourselves.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Just 1 second.